At Arizona State University, we're bringing world-class education from our globally acclaimed faculty to you. Ranked #1 in innovation for 10 consecutive years and #2 among public universities for employability, ASU isn't just ahead of the curve. It's creating new paths to success. Earn your degree from the nation's most innovative university. Online, that's a degree better. Explore more than 300 undergraduate, graduate, and certificate programs at asuonline.asu.edu.
Studio startup initiated.
All systems online.
It's the Morning Blitz with Thick Rick.
Two scoops.
And Kelly.
This morning I woke up and I had a little tingle.
Ow.
Your Morning Blitz begins now.
Get out, square!
And there is Smith rolling free, breaks a tackle. Ohio State strikes quickly from 45 yards. Off the fake down the middle. Caught in stride, a Buka touchdown. Buckeyes on fire. Howard looking to launch. Right down the middle. Smith is wide open. Too easy. Trevion Henderson is loose down the sidelines. All the way to the end zone. It's a Crimson avalanche here in Pasadena. 66 yards. Toss sweep. Henderson has blockers and just gallops into the end zone. Again, Ohio State makes it look easy. Second touchdown for number 32 today. Ohio State overwhelming today. And look out, Longhorns, because the Scarlet and Gray Redemption Tour arrives in Texas for the semifinals with serious steam.
Oh, my gosh.
Was that a game or what?
Wow.
Oh, my gosh. It was glorious.
It was unbelievable.
We sat there obviously the first half was like spectacular. And
Yeah.
I didn't see the whole thing, if I can just admit it right out of the gate here. Yeah. I did go to bed early.
That's all
because
right.
we had it in hand, I felt like. And Charlie did keep popping up to give me updates.
I mean, listening to the announcer, I swear that last touchdown, he sounded bored. Like, it's another Buckeye touchdown.
There we go.
News alert, I think they just scored again.
See, that is the kind of game I like to see, where it's just not in doubt from minute one.
I'm the same way, man. Blow them out.
Gosh, it was beautiful.
I said to my wife, I took a breath and I go, before it started, and I said, we could lose. It's just a game.
Yeah. Aww.
I just wanted, because we could. We could.
That's
we could
right.
have lost. I didn't know what was going to happen.
We've seen it before.
I was pretty confident after the Tennessee game.
Yeah, it seemed like things really turned around from the Michigan loss.
My gosh. It was great because, I went on vacation. The last day was Friday, December 20th.
Yes.
So the next night was the Tennessee game, the 21st.
Okay, right.
So my vacation started with a Buckeye playoff win, and it ended with a Buckeye playoff win. It was perfect.
Beautiful.
Perfect.
Did you have a nice time off?
It was great, but I'm telling you, I couldn't wait to get back.
Oh, yeah?
I wanted to come back the Sunday morning after the Tennessee game. I was so fired up.
You did text a group text, me, you, and Jeff Logan. You're like, does anybody want to work on Tuesday? And
well,
I know. I hear you because the Rose Bowl's coming up and all, but we're like, I was here. I was working, but I was absolutely doing I was mailing it in. I was doing nothing around here but just like the least amount. Let's put it that way. Mm-hmm. I had mood lighting set up in a studio back there. I'm not kidding. Like this little lamp. Everything was dark except this little lamp. And between traffic reports, I was watching Netflix like the whole morning. That was my week at work. So when you were like, let's work, I was like, I don't think so. I have Netflix to watch.
Jeff said when we were on that Friday morning, December 20th,
right,
and we were previewing the Tennessee game, he said, now if Tennessee if Ohio State wins, we're coming back in here New Year's Eve morning. And we're going to do a preview of...
Right. I think that was one of those situations where somebody's not being literal. They're just like, he's excited. He meant it. No, I don't think so.
Well,
I think
obviously.
It was just one of those, you're excited in the moment and you're saying something that you know is never going to happen. That was one of those moments. I fully embraced that, and I was like, I don't think so. I have more Squid Game to watch. So I don't have time to do whatever foolishness you want to do.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, I just texted. I said, hey, if you guys want to do a segment on Tuesday morning, I'm more than happy to come in.
And then how many of us texted
Nobody.
back? Zero.
No, the night before that, we get the text from Jeff. Hey, sorry I didn't get back to you. You guys have a good New Year. That was it. That's all.
You and I talked, and you were like, "Did you get that text?" I go, "Yeah, I got it. I sure did. Didn't answer it. Got it."
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
Oh gosh. Well, I'm glad you had a nice time off.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah.
It was awesome. Did you have a nice Christmas?
I did. It was great. The whole shooting match. Excellent.
Yeah,
it was very fun.
There's some things to talk about from the past week.
Absolutely. Definitely.
Over the next 2 mornings, actually.
Okay, good. Oh, good.
But the Buckeye game was front and center, man. That was just incredible. And unfortunately, it followed the tragedy in New Orleans, which was horrendous.
Man, my gosh. What a day yesterday was very weird.
It was. It really was.
Yeah, awful.
And then
they maybe think that Cybertruck explosion is maybe connected.
Yeah. Also to the same. Not just that it's a terroristic attack, but the part of the same deal?
Well, the reason they think it might be is because both vehicles were rented through the same app.
Oh, wow.
Where you can rent your private vehicle to somebody.
Yeah.
There's an app that does that. The Ford F-150 in New Orleans and the Cybertruck were both rented from the same app. So they're seeing if it was connected.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
what a day. And then the Sugar Bowl being postponed till tonight.
Yeah, actually, 4 o'clock.
Oh, 4 o'clock today?
Yeah, it kicks off at 4 o'clock.
All right. Yeah. All right.
That was crazy.
Wild. Obviously, you have to postpone it, right? It's right in New Orleans.
You don't know what else is going on.
No, you don't. You don't.
Now you're about to have this giant event.
You've got to postpone it. I understand it. What a tragedy, though, in New Orleans. That was terrible.
I'm sure we'll hear more about that in your news.
Absolutely. We've got it's probably going to be most of what we talk about this morning in the news.
All right. Do want to say good morning to everybody who's texted in already. Mike Funk, first one of the year, of course.
Yeah, all right, Mike.
He did. And Popcorn Pam, Happy New Year to you. Michael McClaskey said good morning. Byron said, welcome back, Rick and Kelly. Welcome to 2025.
Oh, we missed you guys.
Yeah, man. Good to be
we
back.
missed you guys, but not enough to come back.
I'm telling you, I was ready, man. I was missing my microphone.
Oh, I'm happy you're back. Yay.
Too.
Let's get back to normal. I love the schedule.
Well, that would be, let's see. What would be normal? Morning Blitz trivia. How about that? Morning Blitz trivia, $25 to Water Beds and Stuff and Beds and Stuff Superstores. If you're the first one to text in the correct answer at 99700. There is a new Masters of the Universe movie coming. Ooh. Yes, He-Man. And I want to know what actor is going to play Skeletor in the new Masters of the Universe movie. Be the first one to tell us at 99700, and we will give you that gift card. Red Hot Chili Peppers on the Morning Blitz. It is 6:21. Kelly Quinn, Thick Rick, back for the first time in 2025. Hope everybody had a great New Year. I know if you're a Buckeye fan, you did.
Yes, sir.
Period. End of story.
Oh, it's beautiful.
I'm going to bring that back around here in a second. I posted something on Facebook last night. Got several responses, but let's get to our answer to our Morning Blitz trivia question. There's a new Masters of the Universe movie coming out, and the question was what actor will play Skeletor? Sorry. Who will play Skeletor in the new Masters of the Universe movie? And the answer is Jared Leto. Man, he likes these roles now, it seems like. Joker and now Skeletor.
I feel like somebody's trying to push Jared Leto on us.
Maybe.
Don't you feel like he's getting jammed down our throats a little bit?
A little bit.
Enough with Jared Leto.
Well, I'm interested to see how he does. It's got to be by the power of Grayskull that this is happening. And he's going to play the jacked up, supervillain known as Skeletor. He will join Amazon MGM's live action film. This is a live action film of Masters of the Universe. Skeletor is Eternia's greatest warrior, man. He-Man will be played by, and I have no idea who this is. I might if I saw him. It's Nicholas Galitzine?
No idea.
I have no idea who that is, but he will play He-Man. The director is Travis Knight. Let's see who else is going to be in this. Half-Thor, I think it's pronounced Bjornsson. He was the Mountain in Game of Thrones. You know who the Mountain is.
Right.
So, yeah. Kojo Atta will play the Beekeeper. Or from the Beekeeper will play Triclops. Yeah, that's it. Right. Sam C. Wilson, he played Blood on House of the Dragon. You haven't watched that, have you?
No.
House of the Dragon.
I have not.
Idris Elba is in the movie.
Nice. Love him.
Allison Brie. You know who that is?
Yeah, I do.
I don't know who that is.
Yeah, you do. From Community, and she was in a Netflix show called... it was the one with the female wrestlers. The female...
Glow?
Glow.
Oh, okay. I didn't see that.
Allison Brie, yeah.
Details about the movie being kept tightly guarded at Castle Grayskull. So we'll get a release date here at some point.
I never saw...
Probably didn't watch Master of the Universe.
No, I was more like in the era of Shazam and ISIS. Do you remember Almighty ISIS?
I do. Yeah, I mean, it was it was an afternoon, weekday afternoon,
gotcha.
And it was
like
definitely
Speed Racer.
It was definitely a guy's cartoon. Masters of the Universe.
Speed Racer?
Oh, yeah.
Our first introduction into anime in the United States.
That was so bad.
It was so bad,
but we loved it.
Yes,
because it was different. It was something new. So. All right. Well, Jeffrey Browning from Millfield was the first one to text in the correct answer at 99,700. So Jeffrey's got $25 to go spend at Waterbeds and Stuff. Looking at your weather forecast, I hear we might be getting a polar vortex in the near future.
We're going to talk about this later, maybe 8 o'clock. I mean, we can talk about it all morning. Yes. There is a chance for a serious snowstorm.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Sunday night into Monday. But I guess the track isn't exactly solid yet. We don't for sure know, but I guess on the bottom end of the system that's moving through is going to be ice. Top end is heavy snow. So it depends on where this thing lands as to whether we'll have a big winter storm, they're saying. So, I don't know.
All right.
I don't know. Yeah, well, we can talk about that.
Polar vortex.
Oh, I love it. Polar vortex.
Well, for today, we will see a few flurries, a mix of sun and clouds, and a high of 35, and then snow showers moving in tonight down to 27. We might see some in the morning as well, so who knows how the Friday drive's going to be. But we're at 29 right now, and so I mentioned I made a post on Facebook last night after the game. And I just simply said, anyone who says Will Howard sucks, knows nothing about football, and is not allowed to watch football ever again.
Yeah. That guy is a beast.
He is unreal, man. I mean, precision bombs, right? I don't even know how a human does that, any of them. All these great quarterbacks, how they can throw that ball that far and drop it right perfectly to a guy who's running that fast, right in stride. That touchdown to Ibuka was insane to me. And the catch was just as insane.
Yeah.
It hit the defender in the hand, and Ibuka still pulled it in.
Still got it.
It was nuts. Crazy, man. But, yeah, I got a few comments here. A.J. Wilson said, tell him how you really feel, Rick. Yeah. Bobby said, agreed. Very good quarterback. I appreciated Alan Height. He said, I agreed. I sometimes have said he wasn't that good. While secretly in hopes that he'd prove me wrong, and then I have to eat my words. LOL. Being an extremely passionate fan is tiring sometimes, but we'll always love the Buckeyes. Go Bucks.
All right, so here's the thing. It was an emotional roller coaster, was it not, from the Michigan game to this morning?
Oh, absolutely.
And I will say, and you know I'm very emotionally driven. Like, I don't think before I speak. I just blurt out whatever I'm feeling, and I blurted out that I didn't care if we won the national championship. I just wanted to beat Michigan.
Yeah.
Not watching. I don't give a crap about Ohio State football anymore. Let me tell you something. The amount I care is so high right now.
It was so exciting.
It was so good.
We're going to talk about the game more, and a couple of things that, within the game. Plus, oh my gosh, the Snoop Dogg Arizona Bowl. Snoop Dogg has his own college football bowl now.
There's another guy who's getting jammed down our throats.
Snoop Dogg?
I like Snoop Dogg. Don't get me wrong.
I got some audio. He was in the booth doing analysis during the game. It was absolutely hysterical.
Okay.
I've got some audio from that as well. We'll get into that. More Buckeyes coming up. I did want to also mention on my post here, Mike Funk, who is the first person to text us every morning and was the first one in 2025 to do it.
Nice.
Posted a picture, says, watched the game at Roosters with the family last night. Hell of a way to start the new year. OH. And he's got a picture with him and his family at Roosters.
Very nice.
Mike Funk. If you wondered what he looked like.
Well, I actually do wonder. So let's see. Have we met him?
I have met Mike. Okay. Yeah. We were at the fishing show a couple years ago and sat and watched a pro do a seminar together.
Oh, how about that?
Yeah, that was the first time I ever met Mike. So he would be the one in the bottom left corner of the picture. I think he's taking the selfie or something. But yeah, you can see that on that's on my Facebook page. And I also made that post again this morning on the Blitz Facebook page.
It's the Morning Blitz.
And now it's time for I've Got Something.
Let's see if these dummies have anything worthwhile for us.
Oh, dummies on the first I've Got Something of 2025. Kelly, can I go first?
Yes, please do.
Because I know what you're going to talk about, and I think yours is better than mine.
Oh, I don't know. We'll see. Okay.
All right. There was a loud shaking noise in New Jersey. Like they needed that with the drones, but it had nothing to do with drones.
Yeah.
And this New Jersey town was very puzzled by it. They had no idea what it was until there's a vineyard up there, and the owner, Rob Bukowski, he explained that they were caused, these noises that were happening, by his custom-built hail cannon.
What?
Okay, it's called a hail cannon, but it's not like the weather hail that you think of.
Yeah.
It's a device that sends shock waves into the sky that will disrupt clouds and deter birds from damaging his grape harvest.
Okay.
A hail cannon. I want a hail cannon.
Are you allowed to do that?
I mean, he came forward about it, no problem. I mean, if he's not hurting anything and it's not outside of sound, like the time you're allowed to make a loud noise or whatever.
Also, where is this? Is it dropping?
All right. Well, let's
okay, go on.
I got a report here from Inside Edition talking about it.
It sounds like a sonic boom, but where is it coming from? And what the heck is it?
It is like, what the hell was that? We came to the conclusion somebody was shooting a cannon out here.
But now the mystery in the quaint town of Hamilton, New Jersey has been solved. This homemade hail cannon is the culprit. Rob Bukowski constructed it in his garage. It's supposed to scare away birds from his crop of grapes. He also says the loud sound can change weather, stopping crop-damaging hail.
What?
Wow. That's wild.
It's not even shooting anything. It's just a shock wave into the sky.
It feels like it could be used for other things.
Yeah.
Like weather-wise.
I mean, if it disrupts clouds? I mean, if it actually moves clouds?
But it helps
keeps those birds from attacking his grapes.
That's wild.
I can imagine. Well, you imagine that thing goes off, every bird nearby is going to just take off.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, there it is. The hail cannon. I want a hail cannon. I want to F with my neighbors.
All right, I got something. It's about the Japanese toilet situation, okay? First of all, the Japanese toilet is exquisite, all right? And it is part of, culturally, they love to provide a lovely experience for their guests in their home. Their culture is such that they're very welcoming and they want to always provide, a nice experience for people. So the toilet is part of that in each Japanese home, okay? So we've got toilets with heated seats. That's lovely. Now, we've got some of this here.
Yeah.
But, I mean, the entire toileting experience in Japan is next level.
Everyone's got a bidet, right?
A bidet. Not only a bidet, they have air drying, okay?
Oh, my
so after you use the bidet, there's a warm air dryer situation, all right? They've got deodorizing after the bidet and the air drying. There's an automatic lid, so you don't have to touch that thing. It goes up and down on its own.
Sounds like they're all in competition.
Listen, it has music and sound effects.
Oh, my God.
The high-quality ones. But we're finding out that, toilet manufacturer, a very large toilet manufacturer in Japan, the company's called Toto. They basically said, hey, you want one of these amazing toilet seats with all these features? You cannot wipe down the seat with toilet paper because it puts micro scratches into the resin and it will really ruin your toilet seat. It'll ruin the appearance of your toilet seat. So don't do that. I'm like, all right, if toilet paper is putting micro scratches into a toilet seat, what's it doing to our behinds?
Oh.
Now I have a whole new question about toilet paper now.
Maybe
what is happening back there?
Are these is a cushion seat? Is that what it is?
They said no, it's not cushion. They said it is made of plastic resin.
Oh, okay.
So they use it because it's easier, apparently, to, I guess, it wards off microorganisms and things.
Okay.
But it's also really, really easy to mold into complex shapes. I'm like, so what? Not only are you doing like amazing toilet features,
right.
They're in complex shapes, apparently.
Well, so that means if I'm the only one using it, it will like eventually be the shape of my personal butt.
Well, I don't know. I'm wondering, I don't know if it molds to your butt or if it's just already molded into an interesting shape. Like, oh, we're going to mold this into the shape of the state of Ohio. And then you sit down on the state of Ohio and do your business. And it's warm, buddy. Let me tell you that. But I do have new questions now about toilet paper. So they're like, absolutely do not use toilet paper to wipe down the seat.
Oh, my
because
gosh.
It will scratch it up. Well, what is that toilet paper doing to us, man? Do we have micro scratches all over the place?
I don't know.
I mean, it's something to ponder, isn't it, in the new year?
It is. I don't even know what to think of that.
Right. That's all I got.
But I love the effort they make. Man, I mean,
really want to experience that. I've never been to Japan, but I'd like to go for the toilet experience.
The luxury poop? Yeah.
Yes.
Why not? Buck Cherry on the Morning Blitz. It is 6:50. Good morning. Kelly Quinn, Vic Rick. How's everybody feeling? Have they recovered if you had a hangover from yesterday morning? I'm sure you did not, Kelly.
I did not. Did you?
Not. No, I had no hangover.
Yeah.
No. Didn't do that, man. I don't like that feeling.
No, it's never pleasant. I'm just always surprised at the people who can really put away some alcohol. I have family members who are just like, they love to just have a good time, all right? They love to have a good time.
Sure.
And it happens at our house a lot over the holidays. And I'm like, next morning, I'm making coffee and all that. People are sort of waking up in the morning. I'm like, do you feel it? Like, how do you feel?
Right.
And they're like, I'm feeling pretty good. Maybe a little tired. I'm like, that's it? Like, you guys are studs.
I'm a lightweight.
I'm a lightweight too. I just cannot handle it.
I mean, people would. They're power drinkers, man. I just like, they can just drink and drink and drink. And some of us just not affected.
Yeah. I feel like some of us might have a slight allergy or something where it makes us just feel way worse than the normal. Or else maybe, I don't know. Maybe we're just inherently weaker. I don't know.
Well, think about, those New Year's Eve parties, man. And it's past midnight.
Yeah.
Everybody's hammered,
Yeah.
And I mean, it's like, things are kind of winding down.
Yes.
Saxophone player's drunk. This is actually from a song.
Oh, it sounds like a good party.
Yeah, but I was listening to this going, yeah, that's about how it goes, And so I'm listening to that, and then the song kicks in, and I'm like, you've got to be kidding. I've never heard this song in my life.
What is it?
It's by the Eagles.
Okay.
And it's called Funky New Year. And I don't know how I have never heard this song in my entire life, but it is about waking up drunk after New Year's Eve.
Okay.
I thought George Clinton and P-Funk was in on this.
Just last night, wanted to bring the year in right. Woke up this morning, I don't know how. Last night I was a happy man, but the way I feel right now, it's gonna be a funky new year.
You ever heard this?
No, and I'll tell you why we've never heard it. It was released in 2000. Everybody knows all the good Eagles songs were released in the 70s.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
This is from 2000?
That's what it says. I just looked at the release date. 2000.
Wow.
That's why we've never heard it. Because we only care about the 70s Eagles.
I mean, it sounds like them.
It sure does. Well, I mean, Don Henley. Wait, is that Don Henley or Glenn Frey? That's Don Henley, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I think.
Passing around the bottle made me feel brand new. The trouble with the new man, he wants a hit to hit me.
I love it. Anybody feel that?
I don't really like it.
No?
I can see why it never became big.
It's just funny to me.
Although I will say, we've got a lot of Christmas songs. We don't have a lot of Thanksgiving songs, and we don't have a lot of New Year's songs.
True.
So it was a nice effort. I have to applaud it.
Yeah, now no more Old Lang Syne. Yeah. Now it's Funky New Year.
Yes.
Oh, man. Yeah, so that's it. I discovered that. I was like, what the heck how have I never heard this song before?
Written by Glenn Frey and Don Henley.
2000.
Yeah.
They really sounded like their classic selves, though.
Oh, listen, Funky New Year was released as the B-side to the band's cover of Charles Brown's 1960 holiday classic, Please Come Home for Christmas, in 1978. So it was in the late 70s.
Okay, all right.
It must have been
like, that sounded way too classic Eagles
I
to
gotcha.
be that new.
Okay, so basically it just sucks. That's why we haven't heard of it.
Well, it's okay. So that Christmas song of theirs was huge. That is a huge Christmas song.
It was the B-side.
And that makes sense. It's a New Year's song. So they put a New Year's song on, and they made a funny New Year's song, put it on the other side of that.
Okay, so a live version of the song was released in 2000.
Please Come Home for Christmas, was it? Bells will be ringing. Yeah.
Oh, is that it?
The
Okay.
Eagles, yeah, that's a classic.
Gotcha.
So.
And now, the 3 things you need to know before you go.
An Army veteran who was hell-bent on killing as many people as possible drove a rented pickup truck around a parked police car serving as a barricade and plowed through a crowd of New Year's partiers on Bourbon Street in New Orleans, leaving at least 15 dead and injuring dozens of others. This happened early yesterday. After mowing down numerous people over a 3-block stretch on the famous street, while firing shots into the crowd, the suspect, identified as 42-year-old Shamsuddin Jabbar, allegedly got out of the truck with an assault rifle and opened fire on police officers. Officers returned fire, killing Jabbar. He is a U.S.-born citizen from Texas. At least 2 police officers were injured, one gunfire and the other when the officer was pinned by the truck. The FBI says investigators do not believe Jabbar acted alone.
Oh.
New Orleans police have reviewed surveillance video that appears to show several people planting potential explosive devices in advance of the vehicle attack, which led them to believe that Jabbar was not solely responsible. Investigators are urgently working to identify the individuals who were seen on camera and take them into custody. 2 IEDs were found in the French Quarter and are rendered safe. IEDs and other weapons were found inside the rented pickup truck. Now, authorities are also working to determine whether there may be a link between the New Orleans attack and a Tesla Cybertruck explosion yesterday outside the Trump Las Vegas Hotel in Nevada, which is being investigated as a possible act of terror. Multiple law enforcement sources say the Cybertruck that exploded in Vegas was rented on the Turo app, which is the same app that was used to rent the pickup truck used in the deadly attack in New Orleans. So as far as this Cybertruck goes, authorities believe fireworks, gas tanks, and camping fuel were connected to a detonation system controlled by the driver in the Tesla Cybertruck. Now, one person was found dead inside the truck. So it was either a misfire or a suicide situation. Not sure yet. Police say they do know who rented that truck, but they're not prepared to release a name.
I know Elon said he's got like a top team from Tesla helping in the investigation.
You know, I was reading this article about this explosion, and they said if it weren't for the Cybertruck, the damage would have been so much worse outside the hotel. Not a single window was blown out of the hotel. That is how much this
was the truck so
Cybertruck absorbed.
Yeah.
Now, if you've seen, most people have seen a video of the explosion. It's a decent explosion. I mean, it's pretty big, but I guess the impact was mainly felt in the Cybertruck. And then I guess maybe shot out. I forget what they said, but anyway, very interesting. Yeah, the police were like, we got to thank Elon Musk for how that thing was put together, because it really, potentially saved lives.
Man.
So, yeah, very, very awful day yesterday.
Yeah.
And we celebrate a glorious Buckeye victory, and that was very fun. But boy, it sure was in the shadow of these two terrible events.
And it only takes one a-hole. That's all it takes.
Or
Screw
two
everything
in
up.
this case.
Yeah. Jeez.
Yep. So those are your three things.
All right. By the way, if you wondered, that's why we didn't have a Notre Dame-Georgia game last night, because that game is in New Orleans. So that has been postponed until it'll kick off. Currently, it's scheduled to kick off 4 o'clock this afternoon.
Is that in question at all? Or
no, I saw somebody saying that they should postpone it even longer to make sure it's. And I'm like, well, I don't know how you do that. You're going to postpone it, you're going to cancel it, and then Penn State gets a bye and they're just in the championship, because it's not like you can just postpone these games. You postpone everything by doing that.
Could you move it
to another city?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just thinking about all the people that were there for the game.
Oh, yeah.
Last night.
I mean, that's impossible. You're right. It's impossible to do that. Yeah, you either cancel it or
you
play
can take
it.
the teams and go play anywhere and still play the game without fans.
Right.
We saw that all through 2020. They played lots of games without fans.
How far away is the stadium where the Sugar Bowl is played from Bourbon Street?
Oh, yeah, I think it's pretty
Is it
close.
right there?
That's where the Saints play. That's where they took everybody during Hurricane Katrina.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
it's
right
Superdome,
there.
right?
And it's right there in New Orleans. So
okay.
But so that game will be at 4 o'clock this afternoon. I didn't even know about that till late last night. I went, wait a minute, what? They moved that game, and then it hit me. Oh, it's in New Orleans, of course.
Yeah.
Because they don't know what else has been. You said they found IEDs, and
right.
So we shall see. Red Sun Rising on the Morning Blitz, 7:07. That's Kelly Quinn. I'm Thick Rick. Happy New Year to everybody. Welcome to 2025. And a whole bunch of new television. Do you know, Kelly, that the average person, I know I've gone down this rabbit hole, the average person spent 110 hours in 2024 just searching for something to watch.
That's hilarious.
100. That's 4.5 days. That's 1% of your year.
Just searching for
stuff to watch.
Wild.
And I've gotten caught in that.
Oh yeah.
Where you're like, you sit and you watch a trailer, and then you move on to the next, and and then you got an hour's gone by, and you're like, well, I don't have any time to watch now.
Yeah.
It's like so stupid.
We've all done it. That's crazy.
And 1 in 5 people think it's harder to find something to watch today than it was 10 years ago. The most common complaint with streaming services is that they are loaded with too much old stuff that they have to sift through. And that's kind of true. I usually now just look at what the top 10 movies and top 10 shows being watched are.
Okay.
That's
right.
I just don't have time to go through all of those, man. Because I've done that before. And 1 in 4 people think there's too much original content being produced. Bring more. Give me something new. And I'm sure I am not the only one who got way into Squid Game 2.
Oh, golly. Yeah, I think that's number 1 streaming right now.
So did you?
100%.
You're done?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay, so we still have the final one to watch. So we're going to do that tonight.
Okay, no spoilers.
No, I don't. I'm not going to talk about
spoilers.
Details of it other than it's phenomenal.
It's really great, and I will say that. Can I say one thing? Just in preparation for people watching this. Now, we do have a 3rd season coming. A third and final season.
Oh, okay.
I will tell you, just to set your expectations, that if you ask me, this should be a season 2 part 1.
Oh, okay.
And then we'll get season 2 part 2.
Okay.
So let me set your expectations.
Okay, that kind of.
I don't want you to be disappointed at the end, although let me tell you, it is fantastic. Every episode is great.
Yes.
Do you agree?
Yes. And it's funny, too, because, I just wish they got better actors to do the overdubs, because the acting for the overdubbing is the worst.
You can't watch the overdubbing. You have to watch the subtitle, the English subtitles.
I don't. I just deal with it, because after you get going, it's not a big deal anymore.
Yeah, for me it is a big deal. Like, I could not get used to it for the season 1 back in 2020. So I did the Korean with the English subtitles. and it really makes a difference.
Really?
My viewing experience in comparison is great
All right.
when I'm using the English subtitles and then the original Korean is showing, because I just couldn't get used to that overdub. Could not get used to it. But my point being, it's a little bit the same formula. Season 2, they do have like your characters that are miserable people, and you're like, oh, I hate that guy, I hate that girl, I can't wait till they die or whatever, that kind of thing. There is a very high body count, obviously. It's just the same sort of thing.
Yeah.
But it really holds your interest. There is enough of a difference between season 1 and season 2, and enough of a storyline where you feel like you're finally maybe going to get some type of resolution, that it's just compelling to watch. I never watch the murder scenes, and there are quite a number of them. I can't do it.
Oh, you just turn away?
I have to turn away. I just put my hand over the screen.
Yeah, and I mean, this is no different than season 1. That's not a spoiler.
It's no
exactly,
different.
it's another round of games.
I will tell you, I was and I watched the recap because I forgot most of season 1.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Watched the recap, still confused about some of the characters. I was confused. I had to stop. I had to ask Monica, who works here at the Blitz. She watched it, and I'm like, okay, so this girl we've not seen her before. I was very, very confused in the beginning. But once you sort of get past that and get into the story, it's amazing. Number 2, I forgot that they were harvesting organs. I forgot that whole storyline.
Yeah.
So that, again, when you see that, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, right. I forgot about that. And that sort of plays a major role in the season. But, guys, it's really good. If you like Squid Game Season 1, highly recommend Season 2.
So the Netflix record of a new show in its first 4 days was Wednesday with 50 million views.
Okay.
Squid Games 2, 68 million. It broke the record.
Oh, is that right?
In 4 days, 68 million people
you're
have
pluralizing
watched.
Squid Game just like people pluralize Kroger. They call it Kroger's.
Well, my thing says Squid Games 2.
It's Squid Game.
Oh.
Just like...
now in the other story here it does. It says Squid Game. All right, I was just reading it.
You're all right.
I thought it was Squid Game.
No criticism. I'm not criticizing in 2025, okay? I'm not. I'm just recognizing that it is not pluralized.
Okay. Yeah, in this other one it says, as expected, the second installation of Squid Game has been an immediate and massive success.
Yeah. So. It's good. So you agree, right?
Yeah, but I got to watch the last episode tonight because we didn't get started the day after Christmas when it dropped.
Yeah.
We didn't even start, so we just started Monday.
Okay.
So we got through 3.
It's easy to binge. Those episodes go quickly, and it's excellent. But like I said, just set your expectations that basically season 3 is going to be a part 2.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, but it doesn't take away from the quality at all.
I have now watched both the first 2 parts of the 3 parts of the final season of Cobra Kai as well. Fantastic.
Is that great?
Fantastic.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a fan, it's fantastic.
Yeah, we dropped off after season 2.
Oh, my gosh.
But
so
you
good.
highly recommend it.
If you're a fan of the franchise, you can't help but love it. But
all right.
Other than over Christmas break, other than Squid Game, I was binging football.
Yes.
Oh, my gosh. I don't think I ever watched that much football in that amount of time. It was incredible, Kelly. So many great games, college and pro. I was having a blast.
Have you watched any more of Landman?
I haven't watched any of Landman yet. Everybody has recommended that. That is on the list, but I'm just curious what you guys binged over the holiday.
One more thing I binged is No Good Deed on Netflix. It was great. Ray Romano, Lisa Kudrow, solid show all the way through. Binged, I watched like the first 2 episodes and I sort of dropped off. Then I just went ahead and just binged it last week.
Deed?
No Good Deed. It's really good. Okay. I enjoyed it. Very entertaining front to back.
All right. Well, what did you guys see? You can text us at 99 to what are we missing out on that we don't know about? Because I'm waiting for the new Happy Gilmore movie. I saw the trailer for that.
Yes.
Can't wait for that. But I'm waiting for Stranger Things and the final part of Cobra Kai, and that's about all I got right now. And Landman. That's it. So Landman is next. That's what we're going to watch next.
Okay.
But I just wondered what you guys might have binged over the holiday, and if you had any recommendations, let us know. Jimi Hendrix on the Morning Blitz, 7:23 with Kelly Quinn and Thick Rick. We were talking about things that we binge watched.
We both binge watched Squid Game 2. Travis said that they say the translation for the dub version of the show is not correct, and it changes the feel of the show. If you don't watch with original audio and English subtitles.
Oh, really?
That's what Travis said. That's how I watch it. Original audio and English subtitles. You do have to read. You can't turn away from the screen at all, ever. But it does give a better feel rather than the dub and the weird, lip movements that don't match and all that stuff.
Well,
but anyway, it's a preference, though. If you watch it with the dub, it's because that's the way you prefer to watch it. So
it's
fine.
just whoever's reading the dub.
Yeah,
they're
not that good.
They're not actors in any way, shape, or form. They're just reading lines. That's it. But that kind of I don't know. That's kind of part of the. I don't know.
Chad said Squid Game Season 2 sucked. The ending did anyway. And like I said, they should have tagged it with a to be continued because it really is. Season 3 is going to be a continuation of Season 2. So set your expectations that the end is not going to be the end. The end's going to be the end of part 1.
It's going to be a cliffhanger.
Cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
But it's worth watching.
Yeah, everybody's all about Landman.
Now,
oh my gosh, got to watch this because I keep hearing about that. Mike said that along with Tulsa King, and Penguin, and I've heard nothing but great things about Penguin. So,
I did binge, and this was before Christmas. Binged Severance on Apple TV.
Yeah.
I had never seen the first season,
great.
which I perfectly timed it out because season 2 drops on the 17th of this month. So it's perfectly timed out. If you want to binge watch an incredible show, do Severance because we're going to get season 2 in 3 weeks.
All right. Rick said AP Bio is hilarious.
AP Bio is really good.
You've seen that too?
Yeah, I've
seen everything, man.
AP Bio originally was on Paramount, I think, and it stars Glenn Howerton, who is from It's Always Sunny. It's funny.
See, now this is where it benefits you to not be a football fan because you get to see all this stuff that I don't get time to watch because I'm spending too much time watching football.
Yeah, that's right.
Let's see. Bob B, this is not the first time I've heard about Lioness. So 2 seasons, highly recommended. And what's this Matlock with Kathy Bates?
Yes, I've seen 1 episode of that so far, and it was actually really good. I will say that outside of Kathy Bates, it is sort of B-level acting.
Okay.
Although Jason Ritter's in it, he's good. I really like him. But Kathy Bates is so stellar that everybody else looks like it's sort of like community theater a little bit. I don't know if it changes over time, but Kathy Bates plays Matlock. It's sort of a reimagined Matlock, and there's a little bit of a twist after episode 1. It's worth watching.
Okay.
I really enjoyed it.
All right. Brandon said, and Kelly, I know you were a fan of Dexter. He said Original Sin. It's a prequel to Dexter.
On Showtime. I have not seen that. That's been out for a while.
And then TJ said, check out The Night Agent on Netflix. I watched it before, but I watched it again because season 2 comes out the 23rd of this month.
Oh, wait. What's it called?
The Night Agent, and I have seen it, and it's fantastic.
The Night Agent on what service?
Netflix.
Okay, The Night Agent.
Yeah, it's really good. He said also check out You on Netflix. I think we haven't seen the 4th season of that. I think we saw the first 3 seasons of You.
How many stalkings can how many seasons of a stalker do you need to watch?
Right.
It's like you've done 3 seasons, 4 seasons. That's good. I feel like you're good on that one.
TJ finished up with Happy New Year and go Bucks!
Yes. Somebody texted Elisa from Westerville said Shrinking on Apple TV. That is a really good show.
I've heard that.
Shrinking is great. They have 2. I think the last episode was the end of the 2nd season, if I'm not mistaken, but it is excellent. It is worth a watch.
All right.
And there is Smith rolling free, breaks a tackle. Ohio State strikes quickly from 45 yards. Off the fake down the middle. Caught in stride, Abuka touchdown. Buckeyes on fire. Howard looking to launch right down the middle. Smith is wide open, too easy. Trevion Henderson is loose down the sidelines, all the way to the end zone. It's a Crimson avalanche here in Pasadena, 66 yards. Toss sweep, Henderson has blockers and just gallops into the end zone. Again, Ohio State makes it look easy. Second touchdown for number 32 today. Ohio State overwhelming today. And look out, Longhorns, because the Scarlet and Gray Redemption Tour arrives in Texas for the semifinals with serious steam.
Serious steam, Kelly.
Oh, it was just,
glorious.
Everything you could have asked it to be. Although I will say my husband was so funny. We're going into the half, right? And they score that first touchdown.
Yeah.
Oregon. Charlie was so mad.
I know, I was too.
Like, come on. I'm like, we're up by like 97 points. He's like, but I got it. It's like, oh, that would have been really fun to go in with a shutout. But it was great, just the whole night.
Now, and we talked about this earlier. I was ready to come in Tuesday morning and do a preview show. I was on vacation, but I was ready to come in here if Jeff Logan was going to come in. You were already here.
I was
Tuesday,
already here,
so
but I was really phoning it in. I mean, I was like doing nothing. I was watching Netflix back in that studio back at the end of the hall.
Right.
I had mood lighting going. I was doing traffic reports and then just going right back to Netflix with my just little tiny lamp shining. It was so relaxing and dark back there. And you texted, you're like, hey, do you guys want to do a show on Tuesday? And I mean, neither of us answered you.
I know.
We did not answer your text. That's how much we did not want to actually work.
Well, you could have just said
Tuesday.
no. You guys could have just simply said, nah.
I didn't want to hurt your feelings.
So I wouldn't hurt my feelings.
I didn't want to hurt your feelings, so I just thought, I'll let Jeff answer first. And he never did, so I kind of forgot about it.
Yeah, he had the same idea as you.
And then you texted me, you go, did you get my text about doing a show on Tuesday? I go, I got it. Yeah, I got it.
Well, I was looking back from the Tennessee game because we did the show Friday before the Tennessee game, and that final score was 42-17. Jeff had 38-20, so he was closest. So he got another win on that one.
Nice. I feel like you won the prediction for this. For the
I
Rose
don't know.
Bowl.
No. They didn't score enough points because I predicted 35-28. The final score was 41-21, which put me 7 and 6. Yeah, I was like 13. I was 13 points off. Well, you just take the score and how many points you're off on the win and the loss score from the actual win and loss score, and then the total of those two. It's Jeff's system. We've been doing it for years.
I was told there would be no math.
We do it for you. And then, so for this game, I had 35-28. You had 27-17.
Yes.
But Jeff had 34-23. So he was only 9 points off, where I was 13 off.
All right, old Jeffrey coming in
back
strong
to back
at the end of the season.
On the playoffs. So,
very nice.
Now, I got to believe we're going to have him in here next Friday morning.
I hope so.
Before the next, I can't believe we still have 2 more games if we're going to get to the, we're going to play 2 more games if we win
I thought the next one was the national championship.
No.
That's how much I don't pay attention.
It's crazy, man, but I love it. It's, all those home games, that first round, when we played Tennessee.
Yeah.
And the Notre Dame and these other, Texas, those stadiums were so electric. I've never seen them like that. Those stadiums were so loud and electric for those playoff games.
Yep.
It was unbelievable. And it's been really exciting.
It has. Will you watch the Sugar Bowl today?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I hate why it got postponed, but it allows me to watch the whole game today, because I wasn't going to get to watch it last night.
Right.
It was too late. So, I will get to see the whole thing today. If it's posted, it's still scheduled. We'll see. 4 o'clock this afternoon. That will be Notre Dame and Georgia. And the winner of that game will play Penn State next Thursday night. We get to play Friday night, which just thrilled me even more. I'm like, great. I know I get to stay up for the whole game.
Everything's coming up Buckeyes, I tell you.
It is, man. It's awesome. I got a kick out of this because of how it ended. Was when he said this last night at the end of the game.
Sweet smooths for Jack Sawyer and the Buckeyes. A 20-point Ohio State win.
I love that sound. It's just like, that's going to be everything from now on. Will Howard's a good quarterback. I don't care what anybody says.
It just puts an exclamation point on it.
Jeremiah Smith is the best wide receiver in all of college football. Oh, man, Will Howard dropping bomb after bomb. That was incredible last night.
Yeah.
I did get a clip from Ryan Day did his post-game show last night, and, man, he said this team has really stayed together.
This team is resilient, and at the end of the day, we wanted to win a national championship, and the way that we got here wasn't what we expected. It wasn't what we planned for, but nonetheless, we had an opportunity to come back and play Oregon after we'd already played them early in the season, and that's the only thing that mattered. And the guys have been doing a great job of staying focused. The staff is stuck together, but the players have stuck together, and they're fighting to continue to stay together because the winner gets to play together another week, and the loser doesn't. And now we've got an opportunity to go play Texas and a lot of football ahead of us.
It's so exciting.
It really is. I did not expect myself to be this excited about it.
Well, and that brings up my next question, because I remember the Monday after the Michigan game, a lot of people, I understood the disappointment. I was really bummed. I didn't think that could happen the way it did. And
I cannot be held responsible for any comments I made after the Michigan loss.
It was the emotion of the moment. We were 2 days removed from that horrible game and that horrible feeling. And that was the thing about Tennessee, man. You're talking about getting a quick bad taste out of your mouth. Whew. And then we get that last night. But yeah, so that Monday after the Michigan game, I posed this question. I said, all right, you can't have both. You got to pick one. Would you rather beat Michigan or would you rather win the national championship? And hands down, it was like 80% of our response was they'd rather beat Michigan. And I'm like, okay, I get it. I was born and raised here. I was born to hate Michigan. I do hate Michigan. I want us to beat them, but the landscape and the way things work now has changed. There's a bigger goal. It's not just because it used to be you beat Michigan, you go to the Rose Bowl, and you have a potential. If you're undefeated, you have a chance to be named the national champion. Somebody picks you to be the national championship. Now we get to settle it on the field. You know, so you can have a loss or two. I mean, most of the, Oregon was the only undefeated team in the playoffs. So now I ask, now that we're this far removed from the Michigan game, and we've had these two exciting playoff games, I want to ask the question again, give everybody another chance. Now that you've had a chance to kind of get over that and get past that game, I still ask, you can't have both. Would you rather beat Michigan or win the national championship? And you can text us at 99700. Let us know how you feel about that today as opposed to that Monday following that game. I'm just curious if anybody's changed their mind. Three Days Grace on the Morning Blitz, 7:51. Kelly Quinn and Thick Rick. First show of 2025. Happy New Year to everybody. We were just asking a question that we asked back on the Monday after the loss to Michigan by Ohio State. We said you can't have both. You got to pick one. Would you rather beat Michigan or win the national championship? Some people have not changed their stance, Kelly. They're still with the beat Michigan attitude.
I'd say more people, though, are coming in with they'd rather win a natty.
Yeah. And some said, yeah, I've changed my mind. I would rather win the national championship.
I think it's really not fair because we're on emotion still. It's just a different emotion right now.
That's true.
We're coming off an enormous Rose Bowl win.
That's true.
And, we're just emotions in a different area. So if you're like me and you really respond without much thought other than what's going on in your heart.
Right. Yeah.
Obviously, I want to win the national championship now.
Sure.
Right after we lost to Michigan, I was like, no, this means everything. This game meant everything, and you blew it. Now I'm like, oh yeah, no, Buckeyes are amazing. Number one, let's get it. Let's get that national championship. So, yeah, I think ask people in July.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, maybe we'll have to revisit that.
Yeah, revisit in July when we're
going
unemotional a little better.
Yeah.
We haven't seen the Buckeyes in months.
That Jeremiah Smith, I can't believe he's a true freshman.
That's wild.
He is the next Megatron, which was Calvin
Incredible.
Johnson. Like Mike, he said, I'm really excited about the national championship, but I'd still rather beat the S out of Michigan.
Yeah, for sure.
Another one says national title every time. Yeah. So, yeah, there's still a split there. But I tell you what, I could watch Snoop Dogg do football games every week. Oh my gosh, man. He's got the Snoop Dogg Arizona Bowl, and it was Miami of Ohio versus Colorado State. This was last Saturday, I believe it was.
Wait, Colorado State is their coach is one dude, the baseball player? Wait.
Oh, no, Colorado is Deion Sanders.
Oh, Deion Sanders.
That's prime time. Yeah, no, that's Colorado. They got crushed in their bowl game.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen with whether he's going to stay there or what's going to happen. But Snoop runs a beverage company called Gin and Juice. You know, he had the song Gin and Juice. And I'm like, how does Snoop get his name on a bowl game? Well, you pay. He signed a 3-year agreement to serve as the Arizona Bowl's title sponsor, which represents the first time an alcohol brand has sponsored a bowl game. It's the Snoop Dogg Arizona Bowl, presented by Gin and Juice by Dre and Snoop.
Okay.
Crack me up, man. And it was funny because you know who was doing the game? Tom Brenneman, who does the Reds baseball games on radio. And here he was saying the bowl sponsor, which was great.
Snoop Dogg in the booth with us. Snoop Dogg Arizona Bowl presented by Gin and Juice by Dre and Snoop.
I was like, wait, Brenneman's doing football. I didn't know he did football games. I thought all he did was Reds baseball.
He doesn't even do Reds baseball anymore.
Oh, he doesn't?
That's
remember? Right.
Yeah.
Well, no wonder he had to move on to something else.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. All right. Well, anyway, I couldn't get the figure. I just know it was a 7-figure contract for these 3 years. He wants to keep it longer than that. So he founded this youth football league in 2005, and it was just to provide opportunity for inner city kids to play. It was an after-school program just to get kids a chance to go play organized football. It was initially founded that way, and now it is a nationwide nonprofit. The first year had 1,300 kids go through the program. Since that year, 60,000 kids have gone through his youth football program. Hundreds of those kids from the league have gone on to play college football. 5 of them were playing in that game who went through his program. Several have made it to the NFL, including one you may know, Kelly, named C.J. Stroud.
Is that right?
He played through Snoop's youth football program.
That's amazing.
Isn't that something? Juju Smith-Schuster, a wide receiver from the league, he was in it. There's a bunch of NFL players, tons and tons of college kids. So I thought that was pretty awesome. And again, it's a nonprofit, and now we're going on 20 years of this new, and here he is with a bowl game. Anyway, so he's in the booth during the second and third quarters, and the quarterback overthrew a pass, and this was what the reaction was great.
Oh, he's open. Oh, too much paint where it ain't. He could, but he can't.
What are you seeing here?
I'm seeing him not be patient. Because if he takes his time and be patient, set his feet, put it on the line. You ain't got to put it in the air like that. I just told you that. Put it on the line. He's not even sticking him. Draw the line.
He had him.
Yes, but he got to draw the line. He can't put too much air on it.
I told you that.
He could, but he can't.
I mean, that's classic Snoop.
Okay,
right?
No offense at all. The guy's doing great work, right?
Yeah.
Snoop, I am tired of seeing him everywhere.
Oh, really? They loved him at the Olympics, man.
Everywhere
I mean,
turn. But listen, I know that he's great, and I would like to hang out with a dude for a night. I think he'd be a blast to hang out with. It is no hate. I'm just like, man, how many places can you show up where my eyeballs are? I don't listen to Snoop Dogg. I don't know a single Snoop Dogg song. I mean, maybe I do.
Yeah, you would,
But
Snoop Dogg.
Everywhere I look, there is Snoop Dogg. Right. Yes.
He's at the Olympics. He's got his own bowl game. He's Snoop Dogg.
Now, it is impressive that you can retain your, likability after you're really oversaturated.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Well, yeah. And the Olympics, I mean, really, I hadn't seen that much of him until the Olympics happened. He was on that reality show, the extreme sport reality show that Bert Kreischer was the host of. He did that for a season. But the Olympics, he just blew up. Everybody loved him. The Olympics said they can't wait to have him back at the next
next Olympics. You, I could turn on the TV right now, and on one of the channels, I will see Snoop Dogg.
You probably would. And there he is again.
And now, 3 things you need to know before you go.
We are expecting snow around central Ohio tonight. The National Weather Service says snow will start tonight and end tomorrow morning, 1 to 2 inches on the ground. But there's more where that came from. Meteorologists are tracking a system moving in from the central U.S., which, as you've said, Thick Rick, is a polar vortex reaching us by Sunday night into Monday morning, which could bring a fairly large snowfall, depending on the track. Right now, it looks like this system is bringing ice with it on the southern end and heavy snow on the northern end. So, of course, it matters where this thing lands, and the track should become much more clear throughout the next day or so. But they do say a major snowstorm is possible with 6+ inches.
Yeah, and then the cold's coming. And that's what I was talking about with the polar vortex.
Yes.
And that's going to reach us next week.
Okay, gotcha.
These frigid, cold, this Arctic air that's going to blast in and settle into the eastern half of the country.
Okay, now I am into this, okay? Like, I really want a polar vortex to come and settle in for a while, and let me tell you why. If you have a dog, you know why. We need to kill these ticks, baby.
Yeah, all the bugs.
To kill these ticks. I am so tired of taking my dog out for a walk in the winter, even though it's only been a winter for 10 minutes, and him coming back with ticks. And we treat him for ticks, so they fall off and all that, whatever. But like, we're walking, and I'm constantly seeing these tiny little, teeny tiny pinhead-sized ticks on his little body, and it really makes me mad.
Those hard freezes, they do make a difference. And you know, it's funny, they make a difference when it comes to fishing. And I didn't even realize it. Phil Carver, who runs a local circuit here, Team Bass Extreme is the name of his circuit. He said this to me several years ago. He goes, when we don't get a hard freeze, spring fishing sucks. And then I started to notice it. As I started paying attention, I'm like, you know, when we had vicious cold winters, fishing in the spring was way better.
Okay.
And I have noticed that trend. So I want that. I need that hard freeze for a good month.
How about us benefiting from a polar vortex?
Isn't that crazy?
I'm going to have less ticks. You're going to have better fishing.
Polar vortex.
Bring it on, baby. In a series of videos, the suspect in the deadly New Year's Day attack in New Orleans discussed wanting to kill his family and having dreams that inspired him to join ISIS. According to officials, 42-year-old Shamsuddin Jabbar, the man who police suspect drove a rented pickup truck into a crowd of people on Bourbon Street, killing at least 15 people and injuring dozens more, made those recordings while driving from his home in Texas to Louisiana. Jabbar, of course, we've said earlier today, born in Texas, served in the Army for more than a decade, including in Afghanistan. Now, in these videos, which are not public, so we're getting these from sources in law enforcement. So apparently he made reference to his divorce in these videos and was talking about how he at first planned to gather his family for a celebration with the intention of murdering everyone. He's discussing this in these videos. But then he said in the videos that he changed his plans and joined ISIS instead. He said he was inspired to do so by some dreams he was having. Anyway, Jabbar was killed while exchanging fire with police after ramming his truck, his rented truck, through the crowd in the early hours of New Year's Day. And he did have potential IEDs and an ISIS flag in the truck. And those are your three things.
And now, the three things you need to know before you go.
We are expecting snow around central Ohio tonight. The National Weather Service says snow will start tonight and end tomorrow morning, 1 to 2 inches on the ground. But there's more where that came from. Meteorologists are tracking a system moving in from the central U.S., which, as you've said, Thick Rick, is a polar vortex reaching us by Sunday night into Monday morning, which could bring a fairly large snowfall, depending on the track. Right now, it looks like this system is bringing ice with it on the southern end and heavy snow on the northern end. So, of course, it matters where this thing lands, and the track should become much more clear throughout the next day or so. But they do say a major snowstorm is possible with 6+ inches.
Yeah, and then the cold's coming. And that's what I was talking about with the polar vortex.
Yes.
And that's going to reach us next week.
Okay, gotcha.
These frigid, cold, this Arctic air that's going to blast in and settle into the eastern half of the country.
Okay, now I am into this, okay? Like, I really want a polar vortex to come and settle in for a while, and let me tell you why. If you have a dog, you know why. We need to kill these ticks, baby.
Yeah, all the bugs.
To kill these ticks. I am so tired of taking my dog out for a walk in the winter, even though it's only been a winter for 10 minutes, and him coming back with ticks. And we treat him for ticks, so they fall off and all that, whatever. But like, we're walking, and I'm constantly seeing these tiny little, teeny tiny pinhead-sized ticks on his little body, and it really makes me mad.
Those hard freezes, they do make a difference. And you know, it's funny, they make a difference when it comes to fishing. And I didn't even realize it. Phil Carver, who runs a local circuit here, Team Bass Extreme is the name of his circuit. He said this to me several years ago. He goes, when we don't get a hard freeze, spring fishing sucks. And then I started to notice it. As I started paying attention, I'm like, when we had vicious cold winters, fishing in the spring was way better.
Okay.
And I have noticed that trend. So, yeah, I want that. I need that hard freeze for a good month.
How about us benefiting from a polar vortex?
Isn't that crazy?
I'm going to have less ticks. You're going to have better fishing.
Polar vortex.
Bring it on, baby. In a series of videos, the suspect in the deadly New Year's Day attack in New Orleans discussed wanting to kill his family and having dreams that inspired him to join ISIS. According to officials, 42-year-old Shamsuddin Jabbar, the man who police suspect drove a rented pickup truck into a crowd of people on Bourbon Street, killing at least 15 people and injuring dozens more, made those recordings while driving from his home in Texas to Louisiana. Jabbar, of course, we've said earlier today, born in Texas, served in the Army for more than a decade, including in Afghanistan. Now, in these videos, which are not public, so we're getting these from sources in law enforcement. So apparently he made reference to his divorce in these videos and was talking about how he at first planned to gather his family for a celebration with the intention of murdering everyone. He's discussing this in these videos. But then he said in the videos that he changed his plans and joined ISIS instead. He said he was inspired to do so by some dreams he was having. Anyway, Jabbar was killed while exchanging fire with police after ramming his truck, his rented truck, through the crowd in the early hours of New Year's Day. And he did have potential IEDs and an ISIS flag in the truck. And those are your three things.
It's gonna be a fucking New Year.
It's 8:11 at the Morning Blitz.
Listen, the people spoke back in 1978 that we did not like this song, and I ask you to respect that.
I just discovered, I can't believe this song by the Eagles called Funky New Year. I'd never heard this in my entire life.
I haven't either, and there is a reason.
And we found out it was the B-side to Please Come Home for Christmas by the Eagles.
Yes.
Which is a legendary classic Christmas song. But then I find out they got this Funky New Year, man. It was just funny. Everything hurts, yep.
Passing around the bottle made me feel brand new. The trouble with the new man, he wants a hit to hit me.
All about a New Year's Eve hangover.
This might be the most boring party song, post-party song I've ever heard.
Right? All right. I was just curious if anybody kept any type of memento from 2020, from the pandemic. Because I knew I did, and I hadn't even seen it for a long time, but I came across
memento?
it. Just something that reminded you of the pandemic.
Like when I opened my glove compartment and there's still 2 masks in there.
Masks in your glove compartment? Yeah, I had those. I got rid of those finally.
I think I still have mine in there.
But I came across something and I went, oh my gosh, I forgot. I wouldn't throw it away because of what it represents.
Yeah, just a piece of history.
Yeah, so I'm going to tell you what it is and what it was all about and how it, because it was like kicked the whole thing off. Avenged Sevenfold, 8:23 on the Morning Blitz with Kelly Quinn and Thick Rick, and we were talking about the start of the pandemic. This came up because I came across something I had saved from the start of the pandemic. We were in the studio, Kelly. It was Wednesday, March 25th, 2020.
Okay.
And we had a couple guests in the studio from the Hollywood Casino.
Yes.
And we were giving away tickets to a show that was happening that Friday night at the Hollywood Casino. And I got my pair and I was going to this concert. Even though this stupid flu was breaking out, we had no idea, but they were like, the show's still on. We haven't canceled it yet. That was Wednesday. The show was that Friday, the 27th. They were in here on the 25th. Look at here. I found the tickets. They were
Vince Neil tickets.
Vince Neil, just solo, but he would do all Motley Crue. He was going to play the casino on Friday, March 27th, 2020.
Now, that's an interesting keepsake. I'm glad you kept those.
Well, and I threw them in my briefcase that day, And then when I got home, I went, well, these are worthless, but I just stuck them back in my briefcase. Well, my wife got me a new one for Christmas. So I had to transfer all my stuff from my old one and organize. And I came across, and I went, oh my gosh, there they are. Friday, March 27th, 2020. This event, the Event Center at Hollywood Casino Columbus, Section F. And I was like, this was the first thing canceled here. And
I wonder if anybody still has their, like, I'm thinking of passes, like to the Arnold.
To the Arnold,
because
that went next, and then Sonic was canceled.
And then Sonic. So we had some big events that were, like, right around the corner.
And then we were told schools were going to close for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
3 weeks. We were going to close schools, and that was it. But, yeah. And I was like,
what was it? To something the curve. To something the curve.
Yeah, that's right.
What was it? Oh, come on. Somebody knows. Text us at 99700.
Yeah, how did they phrase that?
We need to something the curve. Oh!
I can't remember. But yeah, no, it's the curve. You're right. I just can't remember what the word was. Jeez.
Flatten the curve.
Flatten the curve. We need to flatten the curve. Yes.
Yes.
All right. Well, we did get a couple of texts here. Okay, I'm still getting a lot of texts about the Buckeyes. But
now I said one of my keepsakes. It's not really a keepsake. It's just I'm lazy and I haven't cleaned out my glove box for years, obviously. But I do have. I still have masks in there. They're buried under everything else I've thrown in there since. I did. One of our old coworkers gave me an extra tennis racket that she had. Because I was like so bored, there's nothing to do when everything shut down. Mm-hmm. So I was just going to hit a tennis ball against my garage.
Oh, against a wall and back?
But it was against the garage door. That was our only flat surface. But it was number one, it started marking up the garage door. And Charlie's like, can you hit that somewhere else? And so then I did that for approximately 1 day. Oh, okay. And I still have her tennis racket. I did try to give it back, and she said you can just have it. So that's sort of a keepsake for me, is a tennis racket.
Yeah, Jeff said distilleries were making, remember they were making the hand sanitizer? Because they weren't making,
that's right.
Yeah, they started making hand sanitizer. And he said, I have a bottle of it. It came in a big Scotch bottle. So he saved that.
Wow, that's really cool.
We got another text says, I kept my favorite pair of scrubs that I wore through the pandemic, and I don't wear them any longer. They've been put up and retired.
Oh, my.
And I love this one from Annie. I still have my dog. I bought him with my stimulus check. And he is my emotional support pandemic pup, the sweetest golden retriever named Max.
Now, let me tell you something, Annie. You were one of the lucky ones who got in to get a dog, because I remember we were looking for a dog during the pandemic, and you could not buy an appointment at the Franklin County shelter. I mean, they wouldn't take money for it anyway, but those appointment times were packed for weeks on end. You could not get in to see a dog. So I remember that was a really that was a big time for dog adoptions.
All right. Yeah, we had everybody. Flatten the curve. Flatten Kelly. Flatten the curve.
Yes, I know. It popped into my head. Like, sometimes it takes me a minute or so.
Okay, now this is a different text. I miss COVID, honestly. Lived my best life in 2020.
I do understand that. Now, obviously, I mean, you're not talking about the horrible things that happened during COVID, but the sort of the solitude, I guess, of not being allowed to do anything, so you never had to come up with an excuse as to why you weren't going to attend something. I really did enjoy that as well. So I can understand that, missing certain aspects of COVID. I get it.
No, I know there were some things about it, that there were a couple positives that came out of COVID. Yeah, I don't know. Regarding the Eagles song, the Funky New Year,
yes.
They say I should bleep funky and add it to the collection.
Oh.
Not a bad idea.
Yeah.
Not a bad idea. Ozzy Osbourne on the Morning Blitz at 8:39 with Kelly Quinn and Thick Rick. Kelly, after the game last night, because there was no other game to watch since it was postponed till this afternoon, talking about Notre Dame and Georgia down in New Orleans.
Yes.
We've discussed it at length over the past couple of years. I'm not a big fan of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Right.
Currently. But the induction ceremony was on, so I flipped it on, and I flipped it on at the exact right time because Jack Black was about to induct Ozzy Osbourne into the Hall of Fame, which he did, and he was great. He was very funny, did a great job with it. And Ozzy was there, sitting on a throne on the stage. He did not perform. You could tell he was struggling.
Yeah.
Just being there, talking and everything. He was in high spirits, though. He was very grateful to be there. But what was really cool is the number of big names who got up and did Ozzy songs. And it started with Maynard James Keenan from Tool singing. You had Chad Smith and the Chili Peppers on drums. You had Zakk Wylde there on guitar, along with Andrew Watt, who wrote a lot of the later music for Ozzy. Jelly Roll sang Mama, I'm Coming Home. Billy Idol came out and did No More Tears, which we just played. It was Billy Idol was singing that. And different musicians kept coming up, just big name after big name. It was really cool.
That sounds
so
great.
I'm glad I did get to see that.
Yeah, wow.
And I know it replays, so if you get a chance to watch it, that portion of it, and the A-listers in the audience was huge. I couldn't believe how many people were there for that thing. So I highly recommend it. It was really cool.
Very cool.
I know Julia Roberts came out after that ended. I went to bed. Julia Roberts was coming out to do the Dave Matthews Band. They got inducted, so she was the one inducting them.
Okay, so you dipped at the right time.
Yes, I did. I understand the love for Dave Matthews. Very talented group. Just, I don't know, they've always bored me. Just not my kind of music, I guess. But I get it. I understand the talent. Anyway, we were going to talk about holiday wins and fails. You said you had both.
I had a fail that turned into a win.
That's right. Yeah. So
yes.
What happened?
All right. Christmas Eve, we have in-laws in. There are 7 of us total. And every Christmas Eve, our tradition is to go to dinner and then go bowling. All right. We go to Star Lanes at Polaris. And this is it's sort of a new tradition, but it is a tradition nonetheless.
That's a good place. Star Lanes is cool.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah. And we couldn't get into our normal restaurant. We tried to get reservations a little too late for such a large party. Mm-hmm. But I would say I was like maybe 3.5 weeks in advance of Christmas. I made a dinner reservation, and we ended up finding a 7 p.m. reservation at definitely on down the line. It wasn't our first choice, but. A restaurant, I guess that shall remain nameless. I guess I won't
so far
say,
down the list.
But I'll just say it's a chain Japanese restaurant. Okay, figure it out. It's at Polaris.
Gotcha.
Anyway, so our reservation was for 7 people at 7 p.m. on Christmas Eve, and then we had our Star Lanes bowling reservation from 8:30 to 10:30, which was prepaid. We paid for that up front. All right, 7 people. So that's a little chunk of money, but it's already paid for. So we got to get over to Star Lanes from this Japanese restaurant by 8:30. So we go in for our 7 p.m. reservation, and the first bad sign was that the waiting area is absolutely packed with people.
Can't imagine. This was when? What day?
This was Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve. Okay.
Our reservation was at 7 p.m., so we got there just before 7 p.m. Second bad sign is the hostess who says to us, reservations are running at least 45 minutes behind.
Oh, my gosh.
And I'm like, but we have a reservation. So anyway, my husband does not take this matter lightly. All right. He doesn't lose his temper at all, but he does firmly ask the hostess how a functioning restaurant that operates under a reservation system can be this far off on Christmas Eve. Like if we're working with a reservation system, you know how long each table has to make sure people get the reservation, especially on Christmas Eve, right? And we have got a function at 8:30, so we can't be 45 minutes later at our dining time. Can't be. That just can't happen.
And it doesn't sound like you'd even have your meal in time anyway.
So she does not take that well. It wasn't. I wouldn't even call it a confrontation. My husband's so calm, but he's just firm. Like, how can this be? That this is the situation for all of these people sitting in the waiting room. This is their Christmas Eve,
right? And
you have decided to overbook and basically alter everybody's night here, and for us in a very negative way. she said, well, this is a 2-hour experience, so you were going to make your bowling anyway.
Wow.
So Charlie's like, okay. So anyway, in the meantime, my brother-in-law, John, decides he's going to take a walk. Let me look around and see if there's any possible way there's any restaurant that looks like it could seat a party of 7. Cheesecake Factory's right next door.
Oh, Lord.
Another hint.
Yeah, but that's going to take 2 hours to go through the menu.
Really, exactly. None of us wanted to go there, but we would go there in lieu of what we were dealing with presently if they could seat us. No, obviously, Cheesecake Factory's booked to the hilt. So, but my brother-in-law comes back a few minutes later, and he's like, I think I found something. We're like, really? And he said, yeah, it's like a pasta restaurant, and they have a table for us if we want to come right now. And we're like, go get it. Get it right now. We're out of here. So we told our, unnamed Japanese restaurant to pound sand, take us off, then seat some poor other SOBs who've been sitting in the waiting room for an hour. And we go over to this restaurant. This restaurant is called Flour, Flour, Modern Pasta Bar. Flour Modern Pasta Bar. Let me tell you about this experience. It absolutely was an exquisite dining experience. Number one, the place it's really pretty. We all sit down immediately. I guess they had a cancellation. Lucky us. It's a set menu with a fixed price. All right, so it's $28 a plate. You choose like your bread, then you choose your salad, and you choose your pasta dish.
Okay.
Now, this isn't normal like Italian restaurant pasta. This is like international flavors of Italy, India,
fancy.
Maybe a little Greece. I don't know what they're throwing in there. This was the most delicious food I have had in a long time. They had, if you are into cocktails, a lovely selection of amazing cocktails that my family enjoyed. Martinis, Negronis, margaritas, all kinds of stuff. It's just these little interesting twists. And I will tell you that we have decided that is our place from now on. We are going to Flour Modern Pasta Bar at Polaris Parkway every New Year's Eve, every Christmas Eve from here on out. It turned into the biggest win. We were so thankful that they were able to seat us. Their wait staff was incredible. I'm thinking the owners were there. They seemed to be the owners. Lovely people. It just was just such a win for us that this Japanese restaurant screwed us over so bad that I'm thankful to them now. So I was going to maybe write like a warning, a Yelp warning for this particular restaurant, like literally plan on you not getting your reservation for an extra hour. But we went back and looked at at some of the Google reviews. They all said the same thing. They overbook and nobody gets their reservation on time.
Oh,
so FYI, if you like to go to a chain Japanese restaurant at Polaris Parkway and you get a reservation, that's just a loose time. A very loose time. They are not going to seat you at that time. So anyway.
I'm looking at the menu. They locally raised and homegrown products harvested at their seasonal peak.
I tell you, this place is absolutely, I already used the word exquisite, so I'd have to look at a thesaurus to find better words for exquisite, but it was absolutely delicious. Everything we ate, everything we drank was just...
What is it?
It was so good.
Lamb rigatoni? What? I'm in.
Yeah.
Oh, gotta go to this place.
Tie-dye ricotta gnocchi, butter chicken a la vodka, short rib pappardelle. I don't even know what that is. Somebody on our table ordered it, said it was delicious. Everybody's meal was delicious.
It should be. This place is not cheap.
It's not cheap. Like I said, it's a prefix menu. It's $28 a plate. And if you want like appetizers or dessert, it's extra. So
they have...
It's not, it's not...
no, but you get like a steak.
Yeah, it is... It's worth every penny you put into it. I tell you, the experience was incredible.
Their certified Angus beef ribeye is $58.
Yeah, so I mean, it was for us, it's a holiday, it's New Year, it's Christmas Eve.
Yeah, no, I get it.
We're spending money that night. Right. We're we sort of plan on it being a sort of a big night for us, and it was just made so much lovelier by this restaurant.
Oh, very good.
Yeah, I think it's behind Dick's Sporting Goods or something.
Flour.
Flour.
Very good.
It was absolutely wonderful.
Gonna have to check that out.
Yeah. So I'm sorry, that was kind of a long story, but
oh, that's okay. I'll make mine quick. I was at Tuttle Mall And I have a granddaughter who turns 2 in 2 weeks. And so they had in the middle of one of the areas of the mall, there were Christmas ornaments, Christmas tree ornaments, and you could get names put on them and stuff. So I found one with a couple and a little girl.
Yes.
And so I got my daughter Danielle and her husband Patrick, and then Octavia on the kid, and they open it up. And you write down the names before they put them on. You write the names you want on each thing. And I was like,
how did they spell Octavia?
Oktavia. Had a friggin' K instead of a C. I was so mad, Kelly.
I'm so sorry.
I was so mad.
And it's personalized, so do they take refunds? I mean,
they screwed up? I don't know.
You're just forgetting it.
I'm just like, well, I'm just going to get a new one next year. I'm like, what? Are you serious right now?
Oh, I'm sorry.
I got one for Tyler and Tess, and had their dog Stella on it. It had a little yellow lab on the ornaments. It was perfect. It was fine.
Of course.
Not Octavia's.
Oh, well, when you have more of a complicated name, I guess you...
Speaking of Octavia, I couldn't say anything. Now it's all out there. But on Thanksgiving...
Yes?
My little granddaughter walked in the house on Thanksgiving Day wearing a shirt that said Big Sis Club.
Oh,
yeah.
Danielle got knocked up again?
Again. Oh. And we just found out a baby king is coming.
No kidding.
Yes.
Oh, congratulations.
I can't keep up with Octavia. How am I going to keep up with 2 of them?
The more the merrier.
I guess.
I love it. Congratulations.
Thanks. So, yeah. Name undecided on the baby king. But, yeah, Octavia's going to have a little brother.
Make it easier to spell on an ornament, will ya?
Man, now I'm angry all over again. It is 8:56, the Morning Blitz. That was highly suspect. Thank you, everybody who's congratulating me on another grandchild coming into my life.
Oh, I'm so excited for you.
Man.
And Danielle's doing well?
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
yeah, everything's
good.
great. It was funny, though, because I told you, my granddaughter Octavia, the Christmas ornament we got, I had her name on it, but they spelled it with a K instead of a C. It's Oktavia.
That's how they spelled it.
Yes. Now I lost the text.
Yeah, no,
Go ahead.
Doug Rogers
Yes.
said, when your granddaughter gets older, you can go, okay, Tavia. It can be the new bye, Felicia.
Right. Okay, Tavia. Because I do
Okay,
say
Tavia.
Tavia sometimes. That's because I don't know whether a nickname. I guess you could say Tave.
Yeah.
But what else would you say?
Okay, Tavia.
So, and then I loved, we had a text that said they were triggered by the beginning of your story, but then they said beautiful. It was Scott. He says, I was highly triggered by the beginning of your story. Beautiful win, Kel, because they screwed up your dinner reservation.
I had a bunch of people saying that they do want to try out Flour at Polaris Parkway, Flour. It's excellent, and it's a little pricey, so it's for like a special date night or something like that.
Yeah.
But absolutely highly recommend. If I could give it 100 stars, I would. That place was great.
All right, very good.
Great experience.
But Stacy said now it's going to be so popular, Kelly, you're going to need to make your reservation for next year now.
Well, let's just keep it between us.
Oh, yeah, because nobody else knows.
And now, all right, I'm listening. 3 things you need to know before you go.
New Orleans police say they did not anticipate that a vehicle attack would thwart their security measures after the driver of a pickup truck drove around a police car that was parked to block access to Bourbon Street and plowed into scores of people celebrating the new year. The driver of a rented Ford F-150 Lightning truck rammed into and through the crowd early yesterday, killing at least 15 people and injuring dozens of others. The suspect was fatally shot by police after opening fire on law enforcement. Protective posts known as bollards, which are designed to block traffic, were in the process of being replaced on Bourbon Street ahead of the city hosting the Super Bowl this year. The previous bollards were deemed ineffective by police and removed. Well, this is a wild scene. This happened New Year's Eve in Honolulu. Emergency crews arrived to a very chaotic and very gruesome scene in a neighborhood after a large New Year's firework tipped over after being lit and ignited a fiery, shrapnel-studded blast that killed 3 people and injured more than 20 others, several of them critically. 2 women died at the scene. A 3rd woman died at the hospital. Now, the blast happened at someone's home. It was a 3-story home with a bottom-level carport. And they lit a bundle of aerial mortar-style fireworks, which is called a cake. So they have this bundled firework, mortar style. Lit it tipped over. It fired sideways into crates containing more fireworks.
No.
The whole thing exploded. Officials say there were tens of thousands of dollars worth of fireworks at this home, and no word on whether charges will be filed. All right, this is certainly an embarrassing blunder for Kia. The Korean automaker has been forced to recall nearly 23,000 of its brand new EV9 electric SUVs in the U.S. after discovering that the rear seats were improperly installed. The vehicles were built at a Kia plant in South Korea, and the company, they've narrowed it down to the guy who did it, the one assembly worker. They said this one assembly worker, just didn't bolt those 2nd and 3rd row seats. They were not bolted and then shipped to the U.S. and sold. So there are an undetermined number of 2024 EV9 Kia SUVs with missing mounting bolts. So these things, although may be kind of in place, you may be having a little bit of a bumpy, twisty-turny ride if you're in one of those brand new EV9 electric SUVs.
I'm guessing that guy's going to be fired.
I guess so, man. They really narrowed it right down. They don't mess around in South Korea. That's the guy who did it. All right, those are your 3 things.